Don't betray yourself for anyone else. Stick up for you. If you don't stick up for you, no one else will stick up for you. So say no without any remorse. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Better Together, and I am here with my very best friend Anna.
I'm here with my beautiful, wonderful best friend Sabrina. How are you today, babe?
I am great because when I'm with you, when we're together, we are better together.
So, babe, what are we gonna be talking about today?
Well, we're talking about setting boundaries. How do we set boundaries and why are they important? And someone might ask, what is boundaries? What are boundaries?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yes.
Well, boundaries are limits or rules that you set in place in a relationship to advise people how you would like to be treated. Because when you have someone new in your life, they don't know how to treat you. They don't know what triggers you. They don't know the deep emotional scars you're carrying or the traumas or how you were raised, and that certain things are not acceptable for you.
Yes.
And some of us, not some of us, all of us, we come from different households and different things were acceptable or unacceptable. And so boundaries are those signposts that you give in a relationship, those stop signs to say this here is not okay.
Don't cross it.
Don't cross this boundary. Don't cross this point. This is how I would like to be treated. And boundaries are very, very healthy for a functional relationship, and it protects your mental, emotional, and overall well-being in a relationship.
Yes.
When or where do we need to set boundaries?
We need to set boundaries in all our relationships, in love, and with our partner, with our family, with our coworkers. In all settings, we need boundaries, because imagine you are working in a place and they keep giving you extra work, and you keep saying yes because you don't know how to say no, or you haven't set the boundary like, hey, I need my free time, I need my recess, my lunch time, but you don't know how to say no, and they just think like, oh, this person is very helpful. Sometimes they don't even know that
You're a people pleaser.
Yes. In some of these cases, we need to set boundaries like, hey, and we need to be clear with them like, hey, I already have this project. I can't, or I won't be able to help you with the other things that you are asking me for. And as well with the family and relationships.
I just think about how I had to set boundary in a work relationship because of a manager that was calling me after 9 p.m. and I had to be like, I'm
at home. It's 9 p.m.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of those managers or situations like, hey, work related stuff
at work, working hours.
Yeah, after that I'm done. Don't talk to me during the weekends.
I think we also had to fight for our weekends.
Yes.
like hey, it's a weekend, I'm not responding to this. You know what I do as soon as I get on holidays? I mute the work group.
Yes, it's holiday.
Yeah, like we're on a holiday right now, and I like mute the work group as soon as it's time to go. I mute the work group unless it's something extremely urgent that's to the detriment of the company. Don't call me. I think we can survive it.
Yeah. So Sabrina, can you tell me a little bit about how we can set healthy boundaries?
Good question, because you're right. Some people don't know how to do this. And I think one of the first thing you have to do in order to set boundaries, you have to identify your needs. You have to be very clear with yourself about the things that makes you uncomfortable. So earlier I mentioned about a manager calling me after 9 p.m. That was something that I did not like, because I need my after work time to do things in my personal life, to do the things I want to do. And that was very uncomfortable for me to have to talk about work stuff at that time when we can discuss that within working hours. It was nothing detrimental, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to be clear about your needs. And also in romantic relationships, you have to be clear with the things that hurts you, the things that you need. and you have to vocalize those because, again, as I said at the top of the video, we come from different homes, different circumstances, different things were acceptable. So after you identify what you need, what you don't need, what is unacceptable for you, you can vocalize that to your partner, to your boss, to your friend, and they will be able to respect that boundary, understand your boundary, and if they don't, another serious conversation needs to be had.
Yeah, and you need to be clear about it. Like, don't just be vague, like, hey, I don't like that. What is it that you don't like? Like, you don't like when I raise my voice. You don't like when I call you after 9 p.m. You don't like you have to be very specific because sometimes people, they don't know, like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, okay.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Or they won't make a big deal out of it. Like, oh, okay, just... I don't even know what you're referring to. Yeah. So be clear and about it.
When setting boundaries.
Yes.
Another step is to be consistent with your boundaries. You cannot accept someone walking over your boundary.
Yeah.
Again and again? Yes. Because the moment they start to walk over your boundary and you do not reinforce it, they think, oh, she's not so serious about it.
Yeah.
So if Anna and I were in this relationship and I said to Anna, I do not like discussing my private business, the things that I've said to you in front of work colleagues. And she does that. And I'm like, and inside there is turmoil, internal turmoil. And I'm like,
again.
But then in front of Anna, I'm like, it's okay. No, it's fine. And I watch her walk over that and keep talking about the private things we talk about in front of colleagues. Then she's gonna think it's okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't even think like, hell, she's mad about it because you're not showing me like, hey, you already crossed these.
So it is on me. The onus is on me to say, Anna, you crossed that boundary today, and I'm not gonna accept that again. You have to reinforce that relationship. And if she crosses that boundary again, then I just don't tell you anything else in my life. You know what I mean? If I don't tell you anything else, you have nothing to share. So you have to be consistent in setting your boundaries. You have to be consistent on the things that matters to you. That means your boundaries can't be something that doesn't matter to you.
And
because if it's something that doesn't matter to you, you won't even recognize that someone is crossing them. And also the person will not take you serious, because if I have a boundary about I don't want you to text me at 7 p.m. just because someone else says that, but I don't answer my phone after 7 p.m. and you're also messaging people after 7 p.m. or accepting messages after 7 p.m. and then you say other things like, oh, this is a boundary of mine, and then you just have people walk over it because it's not that deep to you. Because if it is very deep to you, you're going to feel when someone is walking over it, and that's going to jerk a nerve inside of you. And when that nerve is like, you need to say that out loud.
Yeah.
But if you have a boundary and someone crosses over it and nothing happens when they do, nothing happens internally, it's not that serious for you.
Another thing we need to be mindful of, we need to prepare for people pushing back our boundaries. Sometimes it's not something related to you or that your boundary is wrong, but sometimes it reflects their insecurity or sometimes their needs. And humans are usually selfish, and they will try to take and test your boundary. And sometimes they don't even know that they are doing that. But hey, I want this now for me. I am my priority, and I want this from you. Or I don't care about walking all over you with these boundaries. So there will be a pushback, and you need to be very firm with your boundary. Like, hey, respect, this is where I draw the line. You can't cross it. And once they see that you're firm, they will be like, okay, I need to step back,
or they will walk away.
Yeah, some people they
will not accept it.
We see that with a lot of like narcissistic people or manipulative people, that if they don't
get their way,
or if they see that, oh, this person is not easy to manipulate, I will just walk away. Like, okay. So be aware of people using you.
Another thing you have to think about in setting boundary is saying no without feeling remorse.
Yes.
Like your no's, people need to understand that your no is an answer, because saying no is also setting boundaries. So for example, if colleagues invite us to drink at 1 a.m. and we say no to that, that is clear, like we're constantly saying no to that, they will get the message that this is not something we're on board with, or whatever it is, someone asking you to do something that is not in alignment with your core values, or the kind of places you want to go, the kind of things you want to do, and you constantly say no when you're invited or asked to go to these events or places. They will get the message. That is setting a boundary.
And it will show your character, and they will know what to invite you and what, like, not even ask you. So, and in this, I also want to talk a little bit about the fact that we need to get comfortable about not being liked or not pleasing everyone around you. Because sometimes we just say yes to
appease,
and to make the other one happy. But are you protecting yourself? Are you happy in doing the thing that you are doing just because you didn't know how to say no? So be comfortable in being disliked, be comfortable in saying no. Don't second guess yourself with after you say the no. Don't feel guilty.
And also don't say the no like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, be
like
firm.
leaving way for someone to persuade you. Like, no, I'm not going.
Sometimes, what about like if someone comes, if you're out and someone approaches you and it's like, hey, I invite you, or drink this, or do this, and you're like, no. I think
that's when they push back.
And I see why there is this thing around like, oh, but the girls, like, if we're not firm with our no, some guys might think like, oh, I still have a chance. Oh, I can still like poke her and she will pay attention to me because you leave an open door. Like, oh, no, be firm. Like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to go on this date. I am not interested on this relationship. So be firm and be comfortable.
Very firm in your no, and you don't have to be. We're not saying scream no's like no.
Yeah. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be rude.
No, you like. No, thank you. I'm not going. Versus, I don't know if I should go.
I don't know if I have time.
Let me think. No.
Sometimes that happens a lot with certain managers or in the work setting when you're like, no, I don't want these.
It's not easy always.
It's not easy.
Let's be clear. Like,
and
we have to practice saying no. Like, it doesn't come naturally. I think most of us are people pleasers.
Yeah, we're not born like that. We're taught to be
socially because we want to fit in. So we become like, yes, say the yes, and we people please.
And you know what happens when some people is pushing back? They will, if you're not firm with your no, they will try to solve your problems, because sometimes you're like, oh, you know what? I don't have how to get there.
I don't have a car.
I'll find you a car.
I don't have money.
I'll give you the money.
I don't have an outfit.
I'll lend you clothes.
I have to go to the gym.
So how many
change your date?
or no. Yeah, exactly. So
if you leave room for people to suggest ways to solve your problem or to suggest
because
ways
you're making
to give you
as
an
excuse,
they will walk over that and find ways for you to say yes. So no is the answer. There is nothing after it. No is a sentence. No is the answer. No, full stop.
Yeah, you don't need to explain yourself.
Why? No.
You don't need to explain. You don't need to explain.
Yeah. And another one is you have to respect other people's boundaries. If you're setting boundaries, if we're in this relationship, this friendship, and you tell me your boundary and I told you mine, and you walk over mine, there is no way that I will feel like I should respect yours. Like, respect other people's boundary and they will respect yours. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you're going to be firm in your boundary and you are going to be firm in your no's, and you expect people to honor your no's, please learn to honor other people's no's. So don't be one of those person who's trying to push back on someone else's no. She said no, respect her no, and others will also respect your no's. And also the yeses.
And I think when you are in that state, or when you present yourself with healthy, strong boundaries, they will know that they can't mess around with you, and they will respect you, and you will also improve your self-respect.
Rightly so. Why do boundaries matter? You just said it. It promotes respect. It promotes respect, self-respect, and it promotes mutual respect between people that are in relationship.
Yeah.
So if you respect my boundaries, I respect yours. And if you respect my boundaries, I also feel validated and respected by you.
And we will have a beautiful, healthy relationship. It also protects your well-being because you will have time, like, hey, I can't work after this time. Then you are going to have time to rest. Hey, I can't do this. Then you will have more time for yourself. So it will protect your well-being in your physical, mental health, and
emotional.
Because
if I am not setting boundaries clearly and I allow someone to do with me as they please, the amount of internal turmoil
and
when I'm
out
at that party at 1 a.m. or when I'm on the phone call with the boss at 10 p.m. and I'm like hating it.
Yes.
Listen, all of that hormones, those negative, all of the unhealthy hormones that are released when you're angry, it's not good for you.
Yes.
It's not good for keeping you young and beautiful. So stay away from it. Just the resentment. Listen, you know what I always say? I will not betray myself because after I say yes to you, I have to live with this body, with this mind, with this feeling. I'm not betraying myself for anyone. Sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner. Listen, no one betray us like we betray ourselves.
Yeah.
Once I had that concept, like when I'm telling someone yes, when I really meant no, I am betraying this body, this person, this mind
my feelings
that was given to me. I'm not protecting her. Why would anyone protect me? Don't betray yourself for anyone else. Stick up for you. If you don't stick up for you, no one else will stick up for you. So say no without any remorse.
This also boosts your self-esteem because you have these clear boundaries and you will start loving yourself. And what you just said, like, hey, I'm not betraying myself. So and I am a big believer in energies, and I think when you love yourself and you are in that healthy relationship with yourself, others get on that energy.
They can feel it.
They can feel it, and they will be like, wow, okay, don't cross her because she is very clear about what she likes, what she doesn't like. And
babe, how many people that we mutually know, they do certain things with people but they never do it with us?
Oh yeah,
they never cross a certain way
because they know, and we're very vocal about it.
Very vocal.
It didn't happen from one day to the other. We had to be vocal about our boundaries and intentional. Like, hey, we don't like this. Don't do this.
And we don't laugh about the same things.
We don't laugh. Yeah.
So like they may do something or say something to someone and that person may laugh, but and we think like that is crossing something, but we don't laugh about them, and they know. They don't like that. We don't partake in certain things, and they're like, don't cross that line with them.
Yeah, because they know, and we will bite back, and we will we will be
very vocal about it. Yeah, so we know people mutually that they don't cross us.
Yeah, because we're
very clear with our boundaries, and that gives us peace. And finally, what does that do? It improved the relationship with other people. So because we're very clear on our boundaries, people don't cross us. I don't cross your boundary. You don't cross my boundary. And because of that, we have very good relationship.
Yes.
There's so much respect in it.
Yes.
There's so much understanding. Even if there's so much understanding between us and between others. With that, we are at peace. We don't need to carry resentment. We don't need to hate on them. They don't need to hate on us because we're very clear. They don't need to second guess. They don't need to question, why are they angry? What are they sad about?
They know what to expect from us. So they don't second guess themselves.
We're very clear. So if you set clear boundaries, it helps fostering a very healthy relationship in your workplace, in your romantic relationships,
with your
platonic
family
relationships, in families,
friendships.
And I think we have a very good relationship because I'm very clear with you. Like these things, I don't like, and you don't cross them for me, and you're very clear, and I respect that because I value you.
Yes.
So my advice to you is, to whoever is watching this, if you have set clear boundaries in your life, in your romantic relationships, romantic, we're not romantic.
Platonic.
If you set clear boundaries in your romantic relationships, in your friendships, in your with colleagues, and they keep crossing those boundaries, walk away from those persons.
Yeah.
Don't try to entertain
don't engage
in relationships with those people. There are some people right now that we just disengage with.
Yeah, we don't give our
energies to, because that is leaving room for them to walk over our boundaries.
Yeah.
And that is something we don't accept.
Or even just bring their energy, their toxic energy or something like that. We don't like that. We even put boundaries there with the energies, or because they will drag you to certain situations that, hey, I'm not up for this.
Yeah. So be very mindful and be very clear in your boundary setting. And I hope that you will add to the conversation. Let us hear your stories of how you set boundaries in your life and how the relationships improved, or the opposite. If you set boundary and you recognize that people walked out of your life. We want to hear your stories. Please add to the conversation.
I also hope that this video, it's leaving you with something to think about. Like, hey, if you didn't know how to set boundaries before, or if you're struggling with this situation, I hope that we give a little push so you can start setting healthy boundaries. It's not something that happens from overnight, and it takes a while, and
it can be scary.
It can be scary.
Intimidating.
Yeah, to have to stop being people pleaser and start saying no, and at the beginning it will feel like, oh, should I say no? And you might feel shy or embarrassed, but hey, be firm.
You get better over time.
You get better.
I'm very firm on my boundaries. Like, I am very passionate about this because I believe people should not betray themselves.
And no one is walking over us.
No. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.
Bye.
Mwah.